Here we have Bobby Robb, and he's been in my barn for probably about 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks at this point. And this is a really pretty cute, big, growthy 16 one-hand, 3-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Drill. And I actually just had another horse by Drill a month or two ago, and his name was Drilling Deep, and that was the first one I'd ever had by Drill. And he's doing fantastically with his new eventing family, which is actually close to me in Maryland. But anyway, it was cool to see another one right after having Drilling Deep. And so Bobby Robb is, God, he just looks so growthy to me. I think he's probably going to finish at least at like 16 two hands. Right now, he sticks exactly 16-1, and I think he's got a bunch more growing up and out to do. And so let me think, he had 10 starts. His last start was mid June, I believe June 16th. And his last several starts have just been very lackluster. He's been finishing last or very close to last. So it was definitely time for him to call it on his racing career. And he comes from a trainer who's a good friend of mine, who I get a lot of her horses coming out of her program, and she hooks me up with a lot of other horses in the area. So I was very happy to take this kid on, and he's just been a super sweetheart. He's excellent on the ground. In fact, I we remembered to take a couple video clips of him getting his first hot shoes on. And so those are at the end of the video. And so he's just been excellent to handle and work with. Really sweet, cute personality. We've put quite a few rides on him now. Between Billy and I think we've probably ridden him, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 times, something like that. He is a really sweet, trying horse. When he came, he was just so confused about the contact and what that meant. And he just had no idea about yielding to pressure on his side, from leg aids or from the contact with the bit in his mouth. So he was pretty upside down when he first came. So we've been slowly but surely getting him to start to think through and understand what we're asking. And it's gotten so much better. And Billy's done a bunch of the work on this horse. So today when he was riding him, I thought it looked quite good. Obviously not quite good right there as he's coming up, but there we go. It looked quite good for the vast majority of the ride. So I took a little video. And please be kind to Billy. He asked me after he rode, he said, "Well, how did I look?" And I said, "Well, it would be good if you could bend your elbows a little bit and put your thumbs on top." And he was quite embarrassed when I said that and quite annoyed at me that I didn't tell him that while he was riding. So then after he rode this horse, he tacked up his own personal horse, Cowboy, and was out in the ring practicing, and he made me come out and watch him and tell him when his elbows were bent and his thumbs were on top. So he's gonna work on it for next time, but it's all right. His position is not quite perfect, but he has a good feel and a good seat, and he's riding this horse very well, and he's making him very happy, and he's understanding the contact more and more every day. So I thought that was quite a nice long side there. He's in a good balance. He's starting to soften his jaw and understand coming through a little bit. And of course, sometimes he comes up and he loses it, and that's totally to be expected. But let me tell you, from where this horse started, which was having absolutely zero comprehension of what it meant to have any sort of feel in his mouth, he has come eons in a very short span of time. And I'm hoping that tomorrow I'm going to sit on him and we'll get some more video with me on him. But he loves Billy. He really goes so nicely with Billy. So he is kind of the exception to the rule because he finds the right to be easier. I feel like it's been a little while since I've said that about a horse, but he's actually finds the bend on the right a little bit more natural than he does the bend on the left. And so I'm so in the habit of starting horses when I first get on of going to the left because the majority of them do prefer the left, but I got to remember when I get on him tomorrow that he would prefer to start to the right. And so we're keeping it all very simple with Bobby Robb. He's in the Hermspringer Duo D, so just a really soft rubber straight bar. We want him to connect the dots on his own. We're not tightening up equipment on him or doing anything to sort of force him into a frame. We want him to figure this out and connect the dots and learn that it actually feels good to soften and start to use his top line a little bit. And I think it is definitely working. He's really showing signs here of understanding. It was so hot and humid today, and it looks like it's going to be for the next several weeks. Luckily, Bobby Rob is a very good sweater. I apologize for the for the video quality. Hilariously, I actually thought I was taking good video. While I was taking the video, I was thinking, wow, I'm rocking at this. And then later when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh God, I wasn't rocking. There's a couple good steps. So it's just a sort of a constant, gentle yet persisting conversation about this idea of finding the connection, getting the horse to soften their jaw, start to use their top line, start to meet you at the end of the rein, coming into the connection instead of start trying to avoid the connection, like what he just did right there. But the learning curve means that you're going to try all spectrums. So sometimes he gets it just right, which actually here, those steps, he's giving a couple of steps where even though I wouldn't say he's round, but he's level and he's accepting of the contact, like right there coming around the corner. And I'm happy with that. I think that's good. The steps that we don't want are when he sort of wants to duck behind the vertical and put his nose on his chest, which he doesn't do very much actually. If anything, he does what he just did there for a step, which is where he sort of just wants to invert and put his head up to avoid the contact. And then Billy just did a great job there of correcting. So he's just trying everything. Billy actually got it quite nicely in the canter. Sometimes it is easier in the canter for them to figure it out. The canter can just be a little bit more rhythmic for them, and I think that helps steady them in the tempo and find the connection a little bit better. And this horse has a fantastic canter. He's extremely balanced. So that definitely helps a little bit. Those are some really nice steps there in the canter. And I like the expression on his face because obviously, so here he comes up for a couple of steps, Billy goes to correct it, and then we break to the trot, which is fine that he broke to the trot. So, but even when he comes up and there's a bobble and it's not quite right, I like that the expression on his face is not worried. His ears are pricked, or he's got one ear forward and one ear back listening to Billy a little bit. But this horse doesn't look worried to me. He doesn't look stressed out. It just looks like to me they're having a conversation about how they can meet in the middle. So I was quite happy with him. This was a good ride for him today. So hopefully I can follow it up tomorrow with another good ride. And so here at the end of the video, we've got him on cross ties. He's excellent on cross ties for tacking, bathing, grooming, mane pulling, all the things. He's great. And then following this, there's a couple little clips of him getting his shoes on.
Yeah, Alyssa. She's here in